Hello friend, welcome back to my channel. My name is Susie and in this video I am going to attempt to film a video that people have been asking me for years, and that is my pen collection. Now I'm standing right here showing you this view because I want you to understand why I haven't filmed this yet. If you can see, I have a lot of pens, so if this video is super long, I mean, I guess I can't apologize. I kind of already know it's going to just have to be super long. So I hope you are in for a long video. I hope you like pens. I hope you like hand lettering. And let's get right into my pen collection. I want to start by showing you what the pens are and where I have them organized. So at the top here, we have some gel pens. These are just like those pens. I'm not even sure they're branded. They were off of Amazon. I'm not even sure if it's one collection or maybe it's two put together, but those are that type of a gel pen. And then going down, we have the Marvy Uchida markers. Now I have a few different kinds. I have the Marvy Uchida Lay Pen Flex, and then I have the Marvy Uchida Color-In markers, which if you have been around here for a while, you know that I really like the Marvy Uchida Color-In markers. But I have all of my Marvy Uchida markers here. I do believe actually I have some felt tip markers as well. You can tell the difference because of the lid. And then moving on, I have my Posca paint pens, and then also some chalk markers. So I have both of those here. I need to redo them. They're way overfilled and it's hard to get stuff out, but for now, that's where they are. And if you are wondering what this thing is that I have all of my pens in, you can find a link of my Dreambox tour in the description box below. I have a whole tour of everything in the Dreambox, and I got this from Create Room. They were called something different back then, but now they are called Create Room. And they sent this to me like a year and a half ago. And I have a discount code for you if you are looking for your own. You can use the code HowToHandletter for $100 off of your own Dreambox. So I will put all the details of that below. But I just thought I'd share because I have a feeling I'm going to get questions about that if I just totally ignore this giant thing full of pens. Moving on down, we have the Tombow Dual Brush Pen. And I am clearly like heavy on pinks and blues, maybe a few yellows, and then not much else there. But I have these loosely organized by color. And then down here I have a Karen markers set. I think I also have a set of Karen markers that are still in the box. So I do have more than this, but these are what I have out here. These pens specifically, you do want to store upright so that they don't leak. And then down here, these are just different metallic markers. And so I have my Karen markers in here. I have a Kuretake. I have Kelly Creates. I have I believe Zebra. And there might be another one. And I thought it would be easy to have my most used metallic markers in one spot because a lot of times people want to see comparisons, so that's why they are together. Now moving on, I have 3 of these little cubbies. The top here I have are these Keiko green gel pens. And then these here, I'm not sure what these are. I bought these on Amazon thinking they were Muji gel pens, and they are not the same. I think they're kind of supposed to be like them, but they are not Muji gel pens. And then here I have these TUL gel pens. If you have not tried these yet, they have quite the following online. And then here we have these Zig Clean colors, and those are like the real brush pen style of brush pen with like the bristles and everything. So right here I have Crayola markers. These are both the broadline and the super tips, and yeah, those are a lot of Crayola markers. These where I live are super inexpensive, and the bonus is that you can do kind of a brush lettering style with them. Now I'm not here to say that they're like the best brush pen in the world, but if you're like me and you can get a whole pack for like $5, then they're a great place to start, and I really like those, and that's why I have so many, because sometimes I buy a big pack when it is back to school, and as you can see, they are kind of messy, so I have a lot in there. And yeah. Moving on over here, I have some more brush pens and then some highlighters. At the top, I have the Artline sticks. I don't use those super often. The next 2 rows down right here are both the Zebra mild liners, the highlighters, and then also the brush pens. So I have both there, and you can tell one of them has a white dot on the top and then one of them has a solid cap. And so I have both of those together. I also like the pointed tip, but one of them has a smaller pointed tip than the other. So I prefer the pointed tip of the brush pens, not the highlighters. So that's another reason I have them all together. And then moving on, I have some more highlighters. These are Powerline 2500. And then moving on, I have some of the Monami Plus 3000. I actually have some more in another container as well. And then I have a bunch of fine liners. These are some that I grab for and like to have right out to use. And then moving on over here to the other door, the top I have the Arteza marker where it has like a brush pen on one side and then a super tiny fine brush pen on the other. And then right here I have some felt tipped markers. So I have some Papermate Flares, I have some Tombow Twin Tones, and then I also have some Pilot Friction markers. And then moving on down here, I have these Arteza Everblend markers. These are an alcohol-based marker. And then moving on down here, I have some colorful fine liners and some Stabilo felt tipped pens. And then at the bottom, I have some colorful gel pens. Not the ones that aren't marked like the other kind. These are some more maybe specialty gel pens is the way to put it. Just some more that I have purchased in a little bit smaller packs. So I didn't really need a whole cup for each brand, but I thought that they would be nice to keep together, and there are some really fun ones in there. Now I'm going to move over here. I have another one of these containers. The top is the Monami Plus pens. Moving on down, I have the Zebra Click Art, and then I have Stabilo brush pens, and then I have some of these big brush markers. I have more in the containers over here, but I just have some of these, the Faber-Castell. And then over here I have, again, some specialty pens. There are some fine liners, some white gel pens, some glitter brush pens, and these are Molotow liquid chrome markers. And then we are moving on to the part that is probably going to be the hardest for me to film. So here I have a lot of colorful brush pens, as you can see, but there are a lot of different brands in each of those. But I have separated these. Let me just pull one down. But when I first got the Dream Box, this is how I separated my brush pens. I just put them by color in these and lined them up, and I didn't have all the extra on the sides and on the doors. And what I found was, number one, I had way too many, so I would have needed even more than what's up here. But number two, there were certain packs of pens that I just didn't want to separate. And so that's why I started with one of the cubbies, and then I added more. And I had also added the cups on the sides with more. So that's why I have a whole bunch of different brush pens here together. And like I said, I'll go through these with you, but they're going to be a little bit different in every single color. So as you can see, I have a lot of yellow. I had to break the green apart into two, same with the blue. And so yeah, I just have different brush, most of them I believe are brush pens. I think maybe I'm seeing a few, maybe a few fine liners, but for the most part, they should be brush pens. So now let's get into pulling some of these containers down from the Dream Box and showing you what's inside. Alright, so I am going to go through the pink set of these brush pens. I am not going to go through every single color in this video because a lot of them will be the same. Because what I did was, when I'd purchase a pack of brush pens, I would separate them by color. Now I chose pink because I really like lettering with pink. So if I did happen to purchase something that was not in a pack, there is a pretty good chance that I chose it in either pink and or black. So I will go over the black brush pens as well. Alright, so I'm starting here with a favorite brush pen of mine, the Sharpie Stained. I love this one, and I actually have a couple of them in this pink pile because I've purchased this pack multiple times. The pink is super bright. I love using the black one, so I have likely just ran out of my black brush pen and needed to repurchase, and I just haven't finished using the pinks. But regardless, I really love this brush pen. And another one that I have is this Ecoline brush pen. If you have not tried this one, it is super juicy. It's a watercolor brush pen, and one good thing about this one is that you can take the top off of it if your brush tip gets ruined, and you can gently take the brush tip out, flip it over, and start again with the fresh side of that brush tip. I have shared this in a video before, so I'll link that below if you want to see more about how to do that. The next brush pen is the Faber-Castell Pitt Artist brush pen, and I have two different colors here. I think these are really fun for that in-between size lettering. Not a fude size pen, but not a larger like brush pen. I really like this brush tip, and I remember it being really helpful for me when I was more of a beginner. And another one that I really like is this Faber-Castell Calligraphy brush pen. I know it doesn't look super fancy, but I love this one. I think I have a review on it. In fact, I probably have a review on a lot of these brush pens, so I will link my pen reviews playlist in the description box below if you want to see full brush pen reviews on them. And the next pen that I have is one that I think is pretty good for beginners, and that's the Koi Coloring Brush Pen. It's kind of a nicely sized brush tip, and I think that can be helpful for beginners when you are practicing those thick and thin strokes. The next one I have is the Zig Futobiori, and this is yet another brush pen that I think is great for beginners. I know I keep saying that, but I'm kind of showing you some of my favorites first. And it's not to say that you need all of these brush pens, but if you come across one or another, then hopefully this will help you to know what you might want to purchase for yourself or what you might not want to purchase for yourself. The next one that I have is one that I have some duplicates of, but this top one is actually not a brush tip. The top one is the Pentel Sign Pen, which is a monoline tip, but the body of the pens do look really similar, so I know that can be tricky. I actually have a video that shows you the differences between these two if you're wanting some help finding the right pen. The next one that I have is this Amazon Basics brush pen, but this is actually from a bit older of a set. So I did a review on these a while back, and then after that I couldn't really find the listing on Amazon anymore. But then I recently purchased this newer Amazon Basics brush pen set, which I recently did a review on, so these weren't in the tour of the Dream Box, but you can see these here as well. I just wanted to point out that these pinks that were in the Dream Box are a bit different than the one that I recently did that pen review on. Now I do show a comparison of the two in my recent Amazon Basics brush pen review if you want to see that. I can link that as well. Now here I have another one of these Koi Coloring brush pens, and I have this Kelly Creates Dream Pen, which has these two different brush tip sides. And then here I have the Zig Scroll and Brush. I rarely use the scroll side, but I really like the brush pen side, so if I cannot find the brushables where there are two brush tips, but I can find the scroll and brush, I will just buy the scroll and brush just to use the brush tip side, but I do prefer to grab the Zig brushables so that I can have a brush tip on both sides. The next two are both smaller size brush pens. The top is the Zebra Funwari and the bottom is the Tombow Fude pen. And then here I have a Sharpie brush pen. This is different than the Sharpie Stained, which I showed a little bit earlier, and it's another one with kind of a unique brush tip. And here we have another Kelly Creates Dream Pen. And then a Handmade Modern brush pen, which I think I purchased at Target. I don't use these much, and it's been a while since I've tried it, so I don't have a ton to say about it, but I have kept it just in case I needed it. These are probably the ones that I should pass along soon, though. These are two more brush pens, and I honestly don't remember a ton about them. I want to say that I bought them trying to test out super affordable brush pens, but I'm not 100% sure. As you can see, the first one kind of came apart on me, and so I did a quick demonstration so that you can see for yourself, since I don't remember a lot about this one right now. These are another couple of pink brush pens. They kind of seem like they're unbranded, but I think a brand may have sent them to me. If I remember correctly, I think they may be a watercolor brush pen. They do have some writing on them, but I don't think that's actually the brand name. I could be wrong. But if I can find the video where I shared this brush pen, I will link it below. And here we have a Kelly Creates small brush pen. I really like this one if you are looking for a colorful, tiny brush pen. Okay, so I am down to my last two in the pink section. I have the Artist Loft watercolor dual tip marker. I really like this one. And then I have the Fabralo brush pen. And I know I keep saying it, but I really like this one as well. It's a unique size, and I think it's really great for bouncy lettering. It's not too small, but it's not so big that you like run out of space when you do bouncy lettering. Sometimes if you use a really large brush pen for bouncy lettering, it can be hard to fit a lot of words on your line because your letters get really big, and sometimes even the spacing gets really big. So I think this is a really good one for bouncy lettering. So that was a majority of my pink brush pens that I had in the little side compartments in the Dream Box, and I wanted to show you a few brush pens that I was storing in an over-the-door shoe hanger. So these are ones that I don't really use, but I keep them in case I need to use them for a comparison to show in a video or something like that. Normally I would just pass stuff like this on if I wasn't using them, but sometimes I'll save just one pen, especially something like this Winsor & Newton, which is helpful to use when I'm comparing it to the watercolor brush pen, which actually reminded me that I didn't show you those. I must not have had one in my pink pens compartment. And the Winsor & Newton watercolor brush pen is one of my favorite brush pens, so I grabbed a purple one to show you here. These are a great size for that larger sized brush lettering. Here I wanted to show you what I have in these containers that were in the bottom of the dream box. So a lot of times I'll purchase a pen that is not part of a set, and typically these will have black or brown ink. So I keep a lot of those brush pens down here. And while I'm not going to go through every single pen here because some of them are from the sets that I showed you from the pink brush pens, I tried to pull out the ones that weren't in the pink pens container so I could show you those as well. Okay, so there might be a few more here than I was anticipating, so I went ahead and went through these and did a bit of swatching for you. Some of them may not be as commonly used as some others, so I thought it might be fun to show you how some of these write in case you have been curious about some of these brush pens. I know this was a lot, and please remember that I have not only been hand lettering for years, I have also been creating consistent lettering videos on this channel for 4 years now actually. I just recently hit the 4-year mark on YouTube, so thank you so much to those of you who have watched and subscribed. It means so much to me. But I point this out to say that not only is this collection years in the making, it's also probably keeping more than I may normally keep if I weren't trying to test things out to show and use them for comparisons and examples in videos. Now, I do think that I'm due for a decluttering session, so if this is something that you would like to see, let me know. It could be really fun, or it could also be super boring, I'm not quite sure. But just know that when I was first getting into brush lettering, I just had a couple of brush pens that I used over and over, and I really learned those brush pens and got to know them, and I think that was super helpful. I definitely did not need all of these brush pens to learn how to hand letter, and so I am not suggesting that for anyone else. If you do want to learn how to hand letter, make sure that you join my free 7-day hand lettering course. You can find it at howtohandletter.com/mini course, or I will link that in the description below for you as well. I hope this was fun for you to see a bit of my pen collection, even though I'm sure there are things that I've missed. I know that we didn't even get into fountain pens or other like specialty pens or ways to hand letter, but honestly, I don't even know if my computer has enough memory to edit a video that size. So I can try to do some sort of specialty pens collection video or watercolor lettering or that type of thing if you are curious about any of those. And I just wanted to say thank you again for being here. It's so fun to be going into my 5th year on YouTube. I feel so blessed and grateful for this channel, and I can't wait to show you the videos that I have planned for this year. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in my next video.